After World War II, what happened to the top German generals? It's a story that's both fascinating and filled with questions. These were the leaders who guided the Nazi forces, and now, their destinies were up in the air. Welcome to History Stories. Join us as we uncover the surprising and sometimes controversial paths these generals took after the war ended, delving into a post-war tale of justice, redemption, and the enduring legacy of World War II's military leaders. Karl Dönitz. Now, after the dramatic departure of Adolf Hitler, Dönitz assumed leadership of the Goebbels government, which later evolved into the Flensburg government. It was like entering a top-tier political game. But there's still more. Dönitz was not your average leader. He played a significant part in bringing an end to the European war. He was momentarily euphoric when he observed Germany's capitulation. Herein is the story's twist, however. Dönitz's legacy is somewhat tainted because of his rather close ties to the Nazi Party. He avoided crimes against humanity when he faced the music at the Nuremberg trials, but he was still facing serious allegations, including conspiracy to commit crimes against peace and war crimes. It resembles the pinnacle of judicial drama. What is the current status of this? The Allies declared victory, disbanded Dönitz's government, and he spent the next 10 years imprisoned in Berlin's Spandau jail. What a turn of events. Wait, there's still more to the tale. After gaining his freedom in 1956, he made his home in a little town close to Hamburg. He released a shocking book, Memoirs, 10 Years and 20 Days, 2 years later. He maintained his version throughout it, saying he was unaware of Hitler's sinister activities. An actual story turn, or only a deception? Gerd von Rundstedt. Next, we have Field Marshal Gerd von Rundstedt had quite a journey in the military. He began his career as a staff officer during World War I, and between the two world wars he retired, but during the Second World War, he was called to serve his nation by leading the Army Group South during the Polish invasion. He was an intelligent man with a knack for retreating where it was due. This has gotten him into trouble. After a failed counterattack near Caen on July 1st, he was asked by Field Marshal Wilhelm Keitel, the head of the German armed forces, for a solution. In response, he bluntly said, "Make peace, you fools, what else can you do?" This no-nonsense approach cost him his command the very next day. He was once again recalled as the commander-in-chief in the West in September, a post he held until Hitler dismissed him in March 1945. Von Rundstedt faced war crimes charges related to his involvement with von Reichenau's severity order, which led to mass murders in occupied Soviet territory. Due to his old age and worsening health, he was never put on trial. He passed away due to heart disease on February 24, 1953. Albert Kesselring. Albert Kesselring, aka the Smiling Albert, began his military career in World War I. In 1935, he switched to the Luftwaffe, and just a year later, he rose to the rank of lieutenant general, taking on the post of chief of the general staff of the Luftwaffe. After the Allies invaded Sicily and Italy in 1943, Kesselring came up with a defensive plan that kept the Allies from winning for a year. It was like a game of chess where he kept them guessing. Later, in March 1945, he assumed commander-in-chief in the West, but was unable to stop the Allied march into Germany. Finally, he surrendered the southern German forces on May 7, 1945. In 1947, a British military court in Venice found him guilty of war crimes related to the execution of 335 Italian civilian hostages, known as the Ardeatine Cave Massacre in March 1944, carried out as retaliation for an Italian partisan attack on German soldiers. Initially, he was sentenced to death, but he was pardoned due to his declining health. He passed away in 1960, marking the end of a complex and controversial chapter in his life. Alfred Jodl. Alfred Jodl was the chief of the operations staff in the Oberkommando der Wehrmacht. After the war, he was arrested by the British soldiers and held in Camp Ashcan before facing the International Military Tribunal at the Nuremberg trials. He faced multiple serious charges, including being accused of planning to commit crimes against peace, initiating and conducting aggressive wars, committing war crimes, and crimes against humanity. He was facing a loaded gun with loaded accusations. Jodl justified the 1941 mass shootings of Soviet POWs by claiming that only those who refused to walk were executed, not those physically unable to do so. He was charged with numerous crimes, which he managed to slip through. But his crime got to him, and finally he was found guilty. He was hanged in Nuremberg prison on October 16, 1946. These are just a few examples of well-known German generals and what happened to them after World War II. Ultimately, what occurred with German generals after World War II was a complex matter. Some generals were tried and prosecuted, while others contributed to the post-war reconstruction of Germany and Europe. It has many gray areas that we alone cannot unravel. It's a reminder that history is full of twists and turns. If you found this information interesting, please like and subscribe. Do you think they deserve the fate? Leave a comment below with your thoughts.